One of my favorite Bible studies is a study called Experiencing God. Ann and I first went through this study, 2003, 2004. We were at a church in Lamars, Iowa, and we were in a small group and we started doing this study together. And it was so good. It was so excellent. There were so many things that helped me understand like how to know if I'm in God's will, how to know if I'm being obedient to what God's will is for my life. And we've probably done that study just individually or with other people. In the last 20 years, we've probably done that study, I'll bet 3 or 4 times, maybe even more than that. But one of the phrases that I remember from that study, and I think about it all the time, is the phrase, you can't stay where you are and go with God. You can't stay where you are and go with God. You can't do both of those things at the same time. The way I kind of talked about it on Sunday was one of the phrases that we use here at Westway Christian Church is you can have growth or you can have control, but you can't have both. You can have growth or you can have control, but you can't have both. Oftentimes when we hear something new, when we hear a new idea, when we hear a new mindset, like our tendency can be to resist that. We don't like to try often. We don't like to try new things. We don't like to try different things. And of course, we're not talking about giving up on principles. We're not talking about the way we've talked about that here at Westway Christian Church is kind of that continuum of preferences over here, and then convictions and essentials. We're not talking about giving up on essentials. We're not talking about giving up on essentials of faith. What we are talking about, though, is not just the possibility, but the likelihood that in order for us to grow, in order for us to be different, though it's likely that we will have to give up some preferences. It may be even some convictions, maybe even some deeply held convictions about ourselves. But those things are not essentials. I really want to encourage you in your relationship with God, or maybe your interactions with the church. I want to encourage you to not be in a place where you say you want growth, you say you want to learn more, but you're unwilling to change. Because you won't grow if you're unwilling to change. You won't grow spiritually if you're unwilling to change. As a person who runs, I hesitate to call myself an athlete, but that's probably a reality. Like I'm not going to grow if I don't do something differently. It can be very easy to get stuck in a rut. It can be really, really easy to get stuck in a rut with our physical workouts. And it can be really easy to get stuck in a rut when it comes to spiritual things. And if you would rather have control, you won't have growth. It just won't happen. It's not going to be possible for you to grow and have control at the same time. You cannot stay where you are and go with God. Like those two things are not the same. In John 12:19, the Pharisees are watching all of the Palm Sunday things, and they say, "There's nothing we can do. Look, everyone has gone after him." See, the Pharisees had this moment where they could have accepted the kingship of Jesus, and that would have required them changing almost everything about themselves, almost everything about their behaviors, almost everything about the way they taught. It would have required them giving up power, and they were just uninterested in it. The Pharisees and the teachers of the law were more interested in control over growth and were more interested in staying where they were over going with God. And I want to encourage you to go with God. I want to encourage you to grow. And that will require you doing something different. I love you, praying with you, praying for you. We'll talk to you again soon.